Everybody asks about this car. Everybody sees it in the background of almost every photo I post when we're here at the house.
Really?
What is it? Tell us about it. I think everybody loves this thing.
Well, it almost looks like a Hot Wheels car, doesn't it?
Yeah.
John Bucci was a friend of mine. I met him because of a number of different cars that he hand built about 20 years ago. And this is one he built in 1966. He's known for his World's Fair car he did in 61 or 62 for the New York World's Fair. And he built this in 66 and he did a European tour with it. We've got pictures at the Colosseum in Rome, at famous churches in Italy. He actually went to see his parents and shipped this car over. He shipped another one of his creations overseas, and we got pictures of that being loaded on the Queen Mary, an RV that he built. A crazy one called the Bucci Executive. But what a cool car. It's all fiberglass. It's built out of Porsche 356 components. It has a wheelbase of 82.5 approximately. But it doesn't have a chassis of a Porsche because in the mid-50s, not mid-50s, mid-60s, there were a number of small companies, and he was one of them, showing that a car could be built without a chassis out of fiberglass. The Forma car was one. The TDX, Joe Amendolia, Pat Amendolia, who built it, was another, and this one too. And I don't think we've had any three on the concours scene. This one needs a restoration. It's got an interior. If you want to pop open the door, you should just be able to pull open the door just for a second. It's dirty and all, but you can kind of get a sense of what the interior looked like. Does that help?
Oh, yeah. Love the wheel.
And the back, I mean, I'm 6 foot. Actually, I was 6'1", but I'm 61, so I keep shrinking. I'm 6 foot now on a good day. So you can get a sense of the scale of the car. And of course, I wouldn't fit in this car if I tried. But the back end is actually screened, kind of looks like a Ferrari bread van when it's got a proper screening. It's a Barchetta kind of screen, cross like a checkerboard. Very, very pretty. And he built two of them. One was running. This was the one that was fully done. He built one with a longer wheelbase, and that was stolen, God, 40 years ago in Chicago. It was a red one. So I've got pictures of the red and green one, the Porsche one, which was this, and the other, which was kind of a mule or a mock-up or a...
Has the red one ever resurfaced?
People can go out and find it. It's missing. John eventually built 5 vehicles. No, let me make sure. He built this one and the red one, the Trieste. This is called the Trieste, Trieste 1 and Trieste 2. And then he built the World's Fair car first. He built another car. I remember the name. It's like Julian, but it's not. 4. And then he built the RV, which is 5. So he built 5 vehicles in his life. You can read about all 5 vehicles on Discover Classics website. Of those 5, 3 exist. 2 are owned by us and on Discover Classics. And 1 was sold after his passing and went to somewhere in Europe. It's a sad thing about collections. And banks are often cemeteries for money, and collections are often cemeteries for beautiful cars. I'd love to know where some of them went, but we don't know where that one is now. Maybe they'll contact us someday.
Now, that integrated chassis or lack thereof with the body, what is that called? It's monocoque? Is that monocoque construction?
Yeah, monocoque construction. Unibody, we notice unibody if it's metal, monocoque often if it's fiberglass, but monocoque can be aluminum and I guess steel as well. I'm not a chassis expert. Other people can take that over, but I can tell you this chassis, like an airplane. Airplane doesn't have a chassis. The body is the chassis. Same kind of concept.
Yeah, and let's get an idea. Okay, so Jeff, you said you're about 6 foot.
6 foot.
Yeah, so gives you an idea on how low this thing is.
I will not be getting, Mike might be able to get in if you want me to hold the camera, but I wouldn't get in right now. It's pretty dirty inside. Oh, and some of the pieces are missing. They're off. The door panels are in the house, and so is the front. There's a beautiful sculpted nose, which we have in the back screening and so forth. But he kept it all his life, and after he passed, Dennis Kazmarowski was actually lucky enough to buy it during the state, and then Dennis and I swapped some cars back and forth, and it's because of Dennis that I ended up getting this car from Dennis and swapping some cars to him. So.
Now, remind me, did you actually connect with John?
Oh, yeah, there's pictures of myself and John. We got him to take his World's Fair car out for the first time in 2012 or 13 to the Milwaukee Masterpiece at a concours, and Guy Dirkin and Meryl Powell and others were there. It was fun about 10 years ago.
Very cool.
And I saw John and I met him a few times. Jeannie, his wife, significant other. Super, super nice person. Very creative, off the scale.
It actually looks like it does have a fair amount of room. You might be able to fit into it as a 6 foot tall dude.
Then you need the jaws of life to get me out.
Yeah. I think the same would probably be true for most people.
But I wanted to pull it out of the garage that we have it in right now, the carport. Here in Florida, this is a garage. You want to pan toward the garage. There it is. At night it's lit up.
All-season garage.
I have this close to my house.
Only 2 walls.
We'll eventually get into the full-size garage, but Florida's kind of a fun place. You can work on, what is this, November 20th, 21st?
Yeah.
And it's 75, 80 degrees. So
Sweating
Florida allows, I grew up in Chicago. Florida allows us to work on cars longer, which I think is better.
So is this a chain-driven operation for the window and then a vacuum
motor?
for
There was
the
a motor
door?
in there too, so the motors were electric. A lot of this, if you look, there's a keypad, and you would key in different numbers. Headlights would recede. You see the numbers? The keypad? It's different numbers did different things. If you go in from the other side and open the door, you'll see the electronics behind it, or in the console, I think. One of the two. Maybe it's under the console.
Take a closer look.
But this will be a fun car to restore. Whether it's me restoring it, it could be Mike. We're trying to fill Mike's new Undiscovered Classics Meteor manufacturer building up.
Oh, God.
If I can fill it all up, then I won't have any cars here, and that'd be great. I'll keep him busy for the next 30 years.
And I'll just become you, basically.
No, you'll be a softer, gentler, kinder, smarter.
I don't know about smarter.
John worked with the UOP Shadow Team race car team. He did a lot of the repairs. He worked for Joe Bortz and restored fiberglass. Joe written about it for the LaSalle show cars that GM built. John was a master craftsman in so many ways. Electronics, fiberglass, shapes, sculpting. He was a remarkable individual. You can see interviews with him on YouTube and on our website. And he's a gentle, kind soul. Miss him.
Hey guys, Mike at Undiscovered Classics here. Just wanted to take a minute and say thanks for subscribing and following the channel. It really means a lot when you guys comment and share our videos. And to that end, a lot of the analytics we're seeing on the back end here in the YouTube Creator Studio is that we've got a lot of people watching videos, but not necessarily a lot subscribing. So I know it's annoying and everybody asks for it, but if you get the chance, subscribe to the channel, like, maybe even share the video, and we'd love to interact with you in the comments. So appreciate it and enjoy.